Miss Santana again, the EL coordinator for Wonderful College Prep Academy. If you're watching this video, you may have missed our Thursday Zoom video lesson. Keep watching to find out what you missed. Hello again and happy Thursday. On today's lesson for designated ELD, our objectives are to getting you to use your language tools. We'll talk about that later in the lesson. Students will be able to interact with others on Zoom and Google Classroom to collaborate and offer conversation support. Again, ideally, you would be attending this live lesson so that you are having opportunities to speak and collaborate with other students in a live setting. Again, the norms are required for Zoom sessions to flow and go accordingly. Mute should be on. Questions would be asked on the chat space. We would be helping each other and doing so respectfully. Our do now is a review on sense verb. What is a sense verb? Take a minute there. You may use your sentence helper or a word bank to help you come up with your answer. All right, if you mentioned that a sense verb is something that describes how the five senses, sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch, you are correct. I also would have accepted any examples such as look, feel, sound, taste, and smell. And again, these are things that we naturally do, but to help develop our language, it is important to continue doing so throughout our conversations, throughout our writing activities, and outside of this designated ELD class. These are things that we may do naturally, but we just didn't know that this is what it was called. And on today's video lesson, every Thursday, we normally choose some sort of topic of choice to discuss as a class. The more students involved, the longer the conversation and the longer the class. Now you may notice that this video might not be quite as long as your Tuesday videos because it all depends on the conversations that we had in our lesson. If you're watching this, I do encourage that you pause the video and partake in the conversation with someone nearby or maybe to yourself as a rehearsal or practice before you try this with another person. So on our conversation tracker, you should be having conversations daily. Again, this could be in person, it could be with somebody that you spoke with over the phone, or your Zoom meeting as well. Granted, if you're attending Zoom meetings and did not make it to Miss Santana's, this can still count. Whoever you meet with on Zoom, whichever other teacher, can also count as a conversation. Don't forget that you can use the talking stems to help you with your conversations. You can share them with the person that you are having a conversation with too. On Google Classroom, there is a list of conversation if cards that we'll refer to at the end of the lesson. But for today's activity, I posed this question. Which would you rather give up? Your refrigerator, television, or cell phone? Which would you rather give up? Your refrigerator, television, or cell phone? So think for a minute, which of those three are probably the least important to you and that you wouldn't mind giving up or not seeing again? In our video lesson, I'll tell you one thing that was very popular: not to give up. Many students were hesitant to give up cell phone and opted for either refrigerator or television. And if you asked me that question, I probably would say the same thing. I would say the same thing. I don't think I could give up my cell phone. I could give up my television. Refrigerator would be pretty important because I do like the items in there and I kind of need those to survive. But television, I don't. And to justify that, You don't really need a television these days if you have a cell phone, especially a smartphone, because that acts like a mini television in a way. You can catch a lot of things on there, more things than some televisions as well. So ask yourself that question. Which would you choose to give up? Refrigerator, television, or cell phone? Once you've made that decision, let's take a look at our assignment and log that in. So again, this is the end of your activity for the week, your weekly packet on designated ELD. And let's log in Miss Santana's Zoom session. If I could spell my name correctly, that would be nice. All right, so we discussed a would you rather, or was it which would you rather? And our conversation was about 10 minutes. And again, those conversation if cards, I got that conversation from this board here. So don't forget to continue logging a conversation. Treat this very much like your reading log. You can treat this as needed. It's just as long as you're practicing conversations, using the language, speaking. Those are really important qualities to developing your language. All right. Let's go ahead and review before we finish our video lesson here. Remember to look out for the language tool icons. Zoom meetings every Tuesday and Thursday. Have a conversation or speak with someone every day. Turn in your weekly assignments on Google Classroom. Remember they're due on Fridays. So if you're caught up with all that, you may hit the turn in button. If you have any questions, again, you can reach out to me on Google Classroom, Class Dojo, or you can call your local school and reach out to me that way as well. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.